There is a saying, there are only two guarantees in this lifetime, death and taxes. The first is a scary topic, and the latter we always try to avoid each April. Regardless of the relief on taxes, death is upon us, each and every one of us, whether you choose to think about it or not. Unfortunately, for some people who are desperate in need of an organ donor, they are forced to think about death regularly. Each day, according to organdonor.gov, 22 people pass away just waiting for a donor transplant. There is without a doubt a shortage of donors, but there is more than ample amount of humans on this earth to resolve this issue. In this upcoming presentation, I'm going to discuss the need to become a donor, why it's so vital to talk about how the Department of Health and Human Services, partnered with Donate a Life, are working towards helping thousands of Americans live longer by advocating more people to become a donor. Currently, 121,185 people are waiting for organs, which is according to organdonor.gov. To put that in perspective, the population of America is close to 320 million people. So let's do some math. It will only require less than 1,000 of 1% of the population to be an organ donor to save all the lives we need. We need to take advantage of this mass and all the organs God has granted us. The mission of HHS is to serve potential organ tissue donors and families. By fulfilling this mission, they make life-saving transplantation possible to more patients every year. It goes without saying that the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has many obstacles to overcome in trying to provide many people as possible with the organs they need. First, they need to get across just how vital and important it is to donate an organ. There are many myths and people may believe that hinder them from becoming an organ donor that the HHS has to dispel. One myth is that there's a charge to be a donor, which is there's no cost at all to be a donor. To be an organ and tissue donor, all costs associated with donation process are assumed by the recovery organization. Donors' families are responsible for hospital expenses incurred by the patient before the donation and funeral expenses. Another myth is that those doctors may let a person who is a donor die so they can transplant other organs to their patients. According to the Blood Center of Wisconsin, the reality is that medical and nursing care is not affected in any way by your status as a donor. Every attempt made to save your life, the medical team who works to save your life is a completely separate team from the donation professionals who recover organs and tissue. As you can see, there are many myths that the HHS has to work to dispel each year. The best way they work to overcome these obstacles is to educate people. Their public service announcements are highly effective in working towards this goal. In one specific ad, it shows different clips of a kid getting ready to throw a sandwich away. Before he does, another kid says, "Are you just going to throw that away?" And the kid replies, "Yeah, I'm not that hungry." The other kid says, "Well, can I have it?" And the kid continues to say no and just throws the sandwich away. Here is a great analogy showing that sometimes it does not make sense to say no. There is really no reason not to become an organ donor since we are guaranteed death. We might as well help somebody out with our body as a last effort on earth. So the million-dollar question remains, why donate at all? One word says it all: hope. By deciding to be a donor, you give the gift of hope. Hope is for the thousands of individuals awaiting organ transplants, and hope for the millions of individuals whose lives could be enhanced through tissue transplants. Although, as previously stated, that 22 people die each day from lack of donors, about 79% do in fact receive organ transplants. There is clearly a need, according to liveonny.org. The need for organ donors has never been greater. In the United States, there are more than 120,000 people currently in need of organ transplants. Being an organ donor provides a second chance in life, literally. According to live on ny.org, for an organ donor recipient, a transplant often means a second chance at life. For some, an organ transplant means no longer have to depend on costly routine treatments to survive. It allows many recipients to return to a normal lifestyle. For others, an eye or tissue transplant means the ability to see again and to recover of mobility and freedom of pain. An appropriate next question, if you're following along in the speech, is how? How do I become an organ donor to help the HHS with their noble cause? The best way is to get out the driver's license and simply sign the back stating that you do indeed wish to become an organ donor when it's all said and done. It is also good to have witnesses and tell people about your decision. Be sure though that you have efficiently covered all your bases. In some states, as Kansas, just signing your back of your license is not enough. You need to fill out a donor form and send it to the state so they can be aware of your decision. All in all, the decision is a big step, but very plausible. If you are currently still deciding about whether or not to be an organ donor, I will advise you to do more research and check out beinganorgandonor.com. Or simply check out the PSAs on pros and cons of being a donor. If you haven't made the step to be an organ donor, then I challenge you to take the next step and do whatever is necessary or officially to be an organ donor. Signing your driver's license, telling your family members, and encouraging others. Just one organ donor can save up to 8 lives. According to live on ny.org, it is amazing what we can do with the gift of life. There is no better time than the present. So who's with me on Let's Making a Difference today?